I'm Madi with Madi Sews and welcome back. So a couple of people have been asking me how exactly do I include little strips of sequin, leather, or anything like that in my actual garments that I'm making. And so today I thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about it. A while back, you guys had seen this top that I had made. This is a poly jacquard with a faux sequin leather strip right down the middle. This sequin panel down the front of this top is actually just an overlay, and I showed you guys how to do that here, so I'll just put a little link up at the top here so that way you can find that video to follow the directions for an overlay. Sometimes an overlay just isn't going to do the trick for you. You might have a fabric that's too thick to use in that way. You don't want all of the extra bulk. Maybe you have something that's really heavy and you don't want the weight of your garment to be thrown off. And so in that case, you might actually want to kind of make your own textile in a sense. So let me show you how I actually added this suede strip to my son's sleeve, so that way you can try it at home if you'd like. Okay, so the things that you're gonna need for this quick tutorial is your pattern piece. This is the Lowland Kids Dolman tee. It's a 3T, that's why it's so tiny. You're going to need your fabric, of course. Ooh, I just lost a piece, but you need your fabric. I'm going to be, you are going to need thread, cutting utensils, scissors or rotary cutter. This is faster when you're dealing with knits especially. And pins or clips. Okay, so now that we have all of our materials, let's go over to the cutting mat so that way I can show you how to assemble all of this stuff. I forgot to mention that you're also going to need a ruler. It doesn't need to be this big. Make sure you have one. Okay, so here I have my pattern piece, and what I want to do is make sure that whatever we're making here, this thing is going to be able to fit right onto it. I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to bring this out. I actually decided that I want this piece right here to be 3 inches wide by 11, and I'm going to need 2 of those because I have 2 sleeves. So cut your piece so that it's 3 inches. There's one. This one's just going to be a little shy. Okay, so now that I have my 2 different strips that are 3 inches wide, I'm going to cut it so that it's 11 inches long. And there we have it. We have 2 3 by 11 pieces. So now take both of your pieces. You're going to want them right side to right side facing. And you're going to put them together like this. Pin or clip. Take this to your sewing machine and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch right down this line here. And then go ahead and finish this edge. However you want to do it. You can either zigzag over the edge if you're using a regular sewing machine, or you can finish it on your serger. I'm going to do mine on my serger. Alright, so now that we have our one seam sewn and serged, you can see that they're connected like that, right? What we need to do is connect our next one. So, take your other piece of fabric, and with right sides facing each other, pin that to your little strip in the middle. and then sew down this edge 1/4 inch and finish that seam. And so this is what you should have. When you're looking at it this way, you have your striped fabric in the middle, and when you flip it this way, you have your serged edges. What you're going to need to do now is press this out. Now the direction that you press this is actually up to you. When we press these seams down, we're going to stitch right over them so that way they stay laying flat, right? So you want to make sure that the direction that you press them, you're okay with that seam being there. So I am going to put some black thread into my machine, and I'm going to stitch on this side, which means that I am going to be pressing my seams this way. So go ahead and press your seams and meet me at the sewing machine. Make sure that your seams are actually flipped in the right direction as you're doing this. Okay, that's one side down. I'm going to do the next. Okay, and then what you have are your 2 seams going in the side. And then when you flip it over, these edges can't be picked up. So it's nice and flat. So what we're going to do now is we are going to treat this as though it's just one piece of fabric. Let's go back to the cutting board. Okay, I'm gonna try to ignore this little thing over here. So now that we have this piece of fabric, what we want to do is take our pattern piece and just cut it right on out of there. So okay, in my pattern, I can actually see the center line of my sleeve piece, right? So I'm just going to line that up so that it is the middle of this. Put your weights down. I'm using my pin cushion. And there you have it. There is your sleeve piece with your special fabric down the front of it. You can do this technique in any part of the dress. I've done this at the bottom of my dress, like as a little like stripe technique. I've done it across the front. You can do this anywhere. So just have fun with all of the new possibilities and make sure that you show me what you make. Well, I hope that you learned a little something, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and click that bell notification so that way you know the next time there's a new video. Well, until next time, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.